Gaano karaming basura ang tinatapon mo sa isang araw? Sinisegregate mo ba ng maayos ang iyong basura? Alam mo ba kung gaano kalala ang problema natin sa basura? 61,000 metric tons of solid waste. Yan ang nag-generate natin na basura araw-araw. Sa dami ng basurang ito, kaya nitong punuin ang 27 Olympic-sized swimming pools. Sa buong bansa, meron lang 317 operational sanitary landfills na nagsuservice sa 701 na local government units. Ayon sa Republic Act 9003 o ang Solid Waste Management Act, lahat ng barangay ay kailangan magkaroon ng sariling material recovery facility. Pero sa ngayon, 11,625 lang sa 42,000 na mga barangay ang meron nito. Samantalang nasa 79% pa sa mga local government units ang meron ng aprobadong solid waste management plan. Sa Barangay Baseco, ang grupong Kabalikat sa Kaunlaran ay may sariling waste management facility na ginagawang pera ang basura.
Ako po si Michelle Esmas, isa akong team leader ng aming organisasyon. Bilang isang leader, may mga member din po ako na hawak, 22 members. Tapos kami po ay nagbo-volunteer dito sa aming MRF. Ito ay ang ginagawa ay yung lahat ng member po namin ay nagdadala dito ng mga basura na iba-ibang klase din po. Sinosorting po ito ni Nanay Erna, ni Ate Virgie. Ayan po yung mga gawain nila. Inihiwalay po nila yung mga yung mga labahin. Tapos kung may nakukuha po sila na malinis naman na pwede nang maililigpit doon para sa to deliver na po. Tapos ayan, ganyan, binubukod nila yung karton, pet bottle, hiwa-hiwalay na po yun para pag halimbawa tinagsasama-sama na namin yun sa isang lagayan para sa naman finished product na po na maipa-deliver, ma-pick up na po ng kumukuha sa amin. Pagkatapos po dyan sa paggugupit, pupunta naman po dito sa sa wash, sa paglalaba po. Ayan po si Ate Nora po, siya yung aming labandera dito. Tapos tutuhugin niya po yan pagkatapos niya, pagka nalabhan na po, malinis na, tutuhugin, tapos isasampay po. Ayan po yung mga sinampay ni Ate Nora na. Ayan na po yun. Pag natuyo na po siya, dito naman po sa loob, naman po. Isusorting po ito, katulad nito, ito yung maingay. Ito naman po yung tinatawag namin tahimik. Tapos ibukod din po yung bubble wrap, tapos ito po yung namin silver. Ito na po yun. Yung mga finish na po talaga na pwede na siyang ma-pick up. Dito po namin nilalagay. Ito na yan. May mga plastic bag. Ito yung assorted kung tawagin, may puti. Ayun yung silver. Ayan po yung namin. Ayan na yung pwede na namin. Pag marami na po na kami ng 1,000 kilos, ayun po yung maipa-deliver na namin. Kung hindi maging bukas sa mga tao ang pagiging segregation ng mga hindi rin talaga kahit anong sikap ng organisasyon na mabawasan ang ng basura, hindi talaga mawawala at mawawala yun. Kaya sana magkaisa na lang para maging na maayos po yung namin dito sa aming lugar. Oo, basura yan, pero pera ang kapalit.
Dahil sa kakulangan ng pasilidad na gaya ng kina Michelle, umaabot sa $890 million ang nawawala sa Pilipinas taon-taon. Dahil tinatapon lang natin ang mga recyclable plastics sa halip na i-repurpose ito.
Ikaw ba ay masugid na nagse-segregate ng inyong mga basura? Hello and welcome to Kalikasan Day Everyday. I'm your host, Ces Quesada. Ang inyong tita na laging nagpapaalaala na caring for our planet is not just a once-a-year event but a daily commitment. Join us today and every day to make sure that our planet thrives for the generations to come. Another episode na naman po tayo sa Kalikasan Day Everyday. Today, tatalakayin natin ang isang napakahalagang paksa, ang solid waste management. Sa bawat araw, milyong tonelada ng basura ang itinatapon natin at karamihan dito ay nagtatagal ng maraming taon o minsan pa nga mga henerasyon bago tuluyang mawala. Ang mga bagay na tinatapon natin ng basta-basta ay nagiging sanhi ng polusyon, nagiging panganib sa kalusugan at nagdudulot ng matinding pinsala sa ating kalikasan. Joining us via Zoom is the Chief Sustainability Officer of Holcim Philippines. Prior to his appointment in March 2024, Mr. Manlosa headed the company's waste management unit called GeoCycle. Under his leadership, GeoCycle further expanded Holcim Philippines' network of local government and industrial partners to accelerate decarbonization and circularity of operations and strengthen support in sustainably managing the country's wastes. Everyone, let's welcome Sam Manlosa Jr.
Hello, Mrs.
Hello, Sir Sam. Our second guest is Commissioner Crispian Lau. Commissioner Lau is the Vice Chairman of the National Solid Waste Management Commission under the Office of the President, Republic of the Philippines. As the private sector representative for the recycling, composting, and resource recovery industry sector. He is the founding president of the Philippine Alliance for Recycling and Materials Sustainability Incorporated, and he provides technical and regulatory consultancy in the field of EPR, solid waste management, 3Rs, recycling, and waste to energy. Magandang araw mga sir. Unahin ko na si Sir Sam. Sir Sam, oo, pwede nyo ba ikwento sa atin kung ano yung ibig sabihin ng yung itong GeoCycle ninyo at ano ang pagkakaiba nito sa ginagawa ng ating pamahalaan?
Sige po. So ang GeoCycle po, Ma'am Ces, as you mentioned as introduction, we are the waste management business unit of Holcim Philippines. So many would know Holcim as a cement manufacturing company, but integral to the process of cement manufacturing is syempre yung pagsisecure natin ng fuel sources. Traditionally, this comes from coal or other traditional forms of fossil fuels. But over the years, as the cement industry being a very vital na building block for construction has evolved, the industry has sought to find ways to be more to find more readily available materials rather than depend on traditional fuels. And isa nga sa nakikita nating magandang form ng material na pwede nating magamit as a fuel is waste, municipal solid waste in particular. So what we do in GeoCycle is we partner with local government units who are also like-minded in this idea na hindi naman kailangan mag-landfill talaga ang basura. Nagiging basura lang pag tinapon mo talaga.
Tama.
But pag hindi mo siya tinapon, ifahanapan mo siya ng paraan para magamit ulit, be it, yun nga, recycling is one form, reusing, upcycling, and if end of life na talaga siya, instead na itapon, gamitin natin siyang source of energy. That's when we come in. We extend our partnership to the LGU, so we take the waste away from them. Wag nilang itapon sa landfill and i-convert po namin ito as fuel in the cement manufacturing process. So, yun po siya in a nutshell, Ma'am Ces.
May ginagawang ganito ba ang ating pamahalaan?
So the government naman po tries to find ways to augment yung traditional modes of waste diversion and waste disposal. The government itself, wala tayong mechanisms similar to what we do, which is ang tawag po dun sa ginagawa namin co-processing. Basically, it's a process that is done in tandem with cement manufacturing. And the government, typically, ang disposal methodologies na available sa atin is landfilling, which is the most accessible and the most, I would say, one of the more economical ways na. But yun nga, the government has honored or recognized various other ways of waste disposal, co-processing being one of those methods na inaalaw po ng gobyerno for waste disposal.
At kayo naman, Sir Lau, can you tell us about PARMS at bakit kayo napunta sa ganitong larangan?
PARMS is a multi-stakeholder organization. We are a non-stock, non-profit industry association that brought together stakeholders from the supply and waste value chain. Now, the problem really of waste management is the lack of, participation of sectors. And we found it important that the private sector step in to help the government and fill the gaps so that our waste can be managed properly.
How interesting, no? That meron kayong dalawang ways na para magkaroon ng mapunta tayo dito sa zero waste. And ano ba ang mga challenges ninyo dito sa ginagawa ninyo for both GeoCycle and for PARMS?
Maybe starting with GeoCycle, Ma'am Ces, no, syempre at the end of the day, we are still it's still converting waste to fuel, no, as a resource. And in that scenario, unfortunately for us, unfortunately or fortunately, hindi po namin kaya kuhanin yung lahat-lahat ng klase ng basura. So there's still a significant degree of sorting and segregation that needs to happen. Yung philosophy nga namin, pag recyclable siya, i-recycle natin talaga. Unahin natin yun kasi mas malaki yung value na naki-create ng pag-recycle. And then further down the value chain, pag hindi mo siya na-recycle, so end of life na nga siya. And it fits yung qualification namin. So single-use plastics, laminates, textiles, as a few examples, kinukuha po namin yun, we convert it to fuel. So primary challenge po doon is the absence of scalable and reliable infrastructure on sorting. So alam naman po natin, kahit saan tayo pumunta, no, ang sorting ginagawa sa Materials Recovery Facility, MRF, na kadalasan ay isang shed lang. And then meron kang 2-3 tao na nagdadampot para paghiwa-hiwalayin yung basura. So the capacity to do that as well as the effectiveness is really a struggle. And ang interventions doon for us normally, madami po kaming oras na ginugugol to go to the MRFs, the barangays, to teach the waste sorters how to effectively identify what is usable and what is not. Ano po yun, repetitive na process, among other things. And then the second one is yung, syempre, geographically, we also have challenges if ang operations namin is located in very specific areas, no, in particular, closer to Metro Manila, Bulacan. The farther we are away from the point of generation, which is, let's say, LGU in Pampanga, the more expensive it is to transport the waste. And also, by extension, nag-generate ka din ng extra na greenhouse gas emissions, no, just from the transport. So we all have to be conscious about all of these factors together para siguraduhin that we don't generate extra greenhouse gas footprint from what we do. Rather, talagang value-adding siya rather than value neutral or value negative pagdating sa pagko-convert ng basura into fuel.
Sa hanay naman ninyo, Sir Lau, ano naman mga challenges ninyo?
Well, some of the earlier challenges that we have as an industry sector, is forming the organization, getting like-minded people to drive an advocacy that we are pushing for. And that advocacy really is zero waste to nature with a 2030 mindset ambition. So it was a challenging effort, but it took some time for us to get stakeholders together in one table, have a discussion, and organize ourselves. So crossing that bridge, the challenges remain, no? With policies of government, with consistency in local government administrations, the challenges of implementing the programs and projects that we have put in place. No? These are common problems that we have, but I guess over time, we are 10 years young, but we are able to hurdle many of the challenges, and we looked at these challenges as opportunity as an industry.
So how far on are you now? Naging 10 years na kayo. Gaano kalaki na kayo ngayon?
Well, for PARMS, we started with 10 companies, brand owners with us. Then we evolved to have more than around 22 that are investing partners of PARMS. And we're happy to say now that with EPR, we have more than 255 members in helping us and driving the force so that we can achieve the target of the EPR law in the Philippines.
May parte ba ang government dito sa ginagawa ninyo? I know you're a commissioner of pero ibig sabihin, ang mga LGUs ba na na ninyo? Naisama na ninyo sa effort na ito?
Sa case ni GeoCycle, ma'am, so currently we have 75 active na LGU partners across
good.
the whole country. And it's growing, the partnership is growing. Pero I would like to ma'am, maybe touch on a couple of points na na-imply nyo kanina na napapanahon. No? Number one, we really need consistency sa level ng LGU in terms of managing waste. Kasi a lot of it, for example, to be blunt about it, things related to the elections and changing of public officials, more often than not, we have to be very conscientious and cautious about how we approach agreements with the LGU, no? Kasi syempre, private sector, Crispian would know na when the private sector enters any space, waste management man yan, o kung there are always required investments. But those investments in, for example, waste sorting and segregation are harder to come by if there's no guarantee or assurance na every time we do elections, nagbabago yung policies, nagbabago yung focus, nagbabago yung personality, so medyo paiba-iba. That being one. And then, yun nga, the other part of it is really being more, yung point din ni Commissioner Crispian kanina, to be more inclusive about how we approach it. Kasi yung solusyon nga sa problema sa basura, will require multi-sectoral effort. Otherwise, hindi talaga siya aabante. So the LGUs, of course, are at the core of that initiative. Having said that, it's only, maybe ako dito, no? I might make a controversial statement, but I will say it nonetheless because to me, it's eye-opening. It's actually only fairly recently na yung focus on waste management has ramped up significantly. I-compare mo to 5, 6, 7 years ago, especially na madami namang landfill and dam sites across the country. Medyo madali po magtapon. In the last 2 to 3 years with EPR, with more regulations around landfill permitting and approving the application for landfills, medyo nagtatighten po tayo. So nagiging mas conscious na po yung LGUs. And that is really an excellent development for waste management.
Pero given yung mga problema na sinasabi ninyo, meron ba tayong klarong programa sa waste management sa bayan na ito at present?
Oh yes, RA 9003 or the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act is a very beautiful law and a very comprehensive law.
Pero
the challenge
is
the implementation of the law.
Yes, as always.
Right? So some alluded to the fact that who has direct responsibility over waste management? It is the local government units, it is the mayors. And then nakaatang din sa barangays is to implement or to have material recovery facilities. So all this needs to be in place. No? Now with EPR, it only enhances the law. It does not pass on the responsibility, but it shares the responsibility. Dati, it's only the local government unit.
Yes.
Now that the private sector, the industry sector, the brand owners are now mandated by law to share that responsibility with the local government unit. Now, private sector cannot do it alone.
Exactly.
The government cannot do it alone. We have to help each other and work together. More importantly, we cannot do this without your participation, the participation of the general public.
Tama.
Why? If you do not segregate at source, tapos na usapan.
Oo naman, Diyos ko. Kalaki ng problemang to. Sa puntong ito, pwede nyo bang bigyan kami ng idea? Ano ba itong tinatawag na circular economy?
Well, circular economy is a shift from our current behavior of take, make, and dispose.
Okay.
In the past, we would take from the natural resources, we would make something out of it, and then just throw it away. It's a throwaway culture that we have. The principle of circular economy is such that you want your resources to get back into the system. All right? There are two aspects on circular economy. One is biological, meaning the food that we take, the crops that we take, we consume it, and then we bring it back to the earth. That's
Yes.
biological.
Yeah.
Technical, from fossil fuel, our materials, our resources, no, these are finite. You know,
Yes.
we take from it, but what we have to do is to bring it back into the system, and this is
Para.
where recycling and resource recovery.
Yes.
Otherwise, mauubos po yung ating resources and there would be nothing for our future. So that the general principle is to make things circular so that we can make maximum use of the resources that we have and these limited resources, and we put it in circulation so that we can take the full benefit of all these materials.
May technology na ba tayo para magawa yung sinasabi niyong circular economy, na meron na ba tayong mga educational na pwede maipasa sa mga tao para magawa ninyo yung circular economy na yan?
Yung madami pong available Mrs. no na technology. So in the Philippines, in terms of waste management, kumbaga wala naman pong masyadong sikreto in terms of how do we convert waste to something useful, no. That's not actually a new trend. Maybe it's a little bit new to the Philippines, but it has existed in many countries around the world. So isite ko yung from the comment ni Commissioner Crispian, let me maybe condense it a little bit more. So yung sinasabi nga niya, sa case ng cement manufacturing, instead na gagamit tayo ng fossil fuels to manufacture the cement, we substitute that with materials that are already patapon, but instead we find second life for them. No, may parang tagline po kami sa Walsi, ma'am. Ang sinasabi po namin, we build more with less, which is efficiency, and then we build new from old. So yung mga old po na bagay ginagamit po namin to make new things. This is relevant. This is relevant, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry to cut you. Sige,
No,
sige.
so it's relevant, ma'am, because we always strive to yung to continue to increase our capability to accommodate old materials into the process. Yun nga lang, yung mini-mention nyo kanina, yung sabi ni Commissioner Crispian, when you talk about parang technological and industrial aspects of circularity, mayroon ka kasi talagang inherent limitations based on capacity ng equipment na existing. So, sa case po namin, as we strive to increase the utilization of waste in the process, kailangan din po nating i-adapt yung capacity ng systems to do that. Ang inspirasyon po namin sa Holcim, kasi we are a global company, we have sister companies in many countries around the world. May mga cement plants po, particularly in Europe, where you would know CO2 is a very big deal, no, for companies and countries. Meron pong cement plants na halos totally independent na po from fossil fuels, and they run their operations with 90-95% waste. Meanwhile, sa Pilipinas, we range from something like 5% in some cement plants up to about 25 to 40% in other plants. So, halos nangangalahati pa lang po tayo. Kung ang tanong is kaya po ba, the answer is definitely kaya, pero madami po tayong gagawin. Pero yun nga, ang limitation is from private sector. For you to be able to make that journey, kailangan may connect yung commitments ng LGU. Do you guarantee na consistent yung supply? Di ba? Do you guarantee na effective yung segregation? All of these things need to fall into place para po ma-realize po natin yung fully circular operations ng manufacturing. And by the way, this is not only true for cement, it's true for many other industries across the Philippines.
In other words, the solution does not depend on only one sector. In a problem such as this, we need everybody to be involved. So the government, the private sector, and most importantly, sa atin. No?
Well, at the heart of waste management is the inverted triangle. Remember that inverted triangle? You start with avoidance. You know, you avoid generating waste in the first place.
Yes.
That means us as consumers, we have to have that conscious effort of when we buy something, we have to think of it at the end of its life. What's gonna happen to this material?
At saka saan ito pupunta?
Ano mangyayari? That's the same way as when we design products that we put in the market from the industry. Dapat ganun yung approach. Then, from avoidance, you go to reduce, reuse, recycle. The 3 R's.
The 3 R's.
That is the basic foundation of waste management. So if you cannot reduce, if you cannot reuse, if you cannot recycle, then you can go now to treatment, co-processing is there. So you follow that hierarchy, and if we're able to do that using the inverted triangle model, konti na lang itatapon natin sa ating resource. So that is the heart of circular economy. Yeah? And I think right now, the government has this recognition. So the programs are aimed at circular economy. The private sector is also doing its efforts for net zero, reduce carbon emissions, circularity. Now it's time, the general public na lang. If we're able to do that with all hands on deck, I think we can achieve it in the near future. I hope.
Ay nako, hari nawa. Siguro bilang panghuling part ng ating diskusyon, maybe you can talk to our kababayans kung paano sila makakatulong sa inyong mga efforts sa zero waste management.
Ma'am Ses, to me, dalawang points lang. The first one, actually, sinabi na ni Commissioner Crispian kanina, but I really want to emphasize it. So, yung may kontribusyon bawat Pilipino, bawat mamamayan doon sa problema ng basura. Kasi yung sinabi niyo nga po, Mrs., no, it's out of sight, out of mind the mindset. Pag tinapon ko 'yan, pumasok sa trash can, hindi ko na siya problema. Problema na siya ng somebody else, no. But if we maintain that kind of a mindset, then we are actually not conscious about our personal impact to the environment. Wala tayong pakialam. Tuloy, and if ganun tayo mag-isip lahat, tuloy-tuloy na hindi aasenso yung Pilipinas in terms of being more sustainable, no, and adapting circular economy, circularity thinking or mindset. So it's important that whenever we talk about na may pakialam tayo sa pagmamanage ng basura, tayo mismo we do our part. Kasi kadalasan pong nangyayari, hindi po pagpapangalan ng LGU, madalas sa bahay naghihiwalay-hiwalay yung basura, pero pag hindi mo question kung paano siya kinokolekta, naghalo-halo siya sa truck, the same po yung mangyayari, itatapon mo pa rin siya, hindi siya recyclable, di ba? Madaming beses po nangyayari yon. But the citizens segregate, they also should compel the government unit to actually put the right systems in place para tuloy siyang mahiwalay at ma-recycle yung kailangan, ma-recover yung iba, matapon yung wala ng gamit.
Well said. Hindi ka ba tatakbo bilang senador? Bagay na bagay, ang ganda.
Kaya na po nila yon, ma'am. Suporta lang po kami ni Commissioner Crispian.
Kayo naman po, Commissioner, ano po masasabi ninyo sa ating mga kababayan?
Well, government cannot do it alone. What's lacking in this country is infrastructure. Only 40% of your barangays have material recovery facilities. So, may gap doon. No? Only 32% of your local government units have access to sanitary landfill. Again, the government cannot do it alone, and we have to ask our government to do what needs to be done. No? The challenges can be budget, political will, but it all depends on us, on the choices that we make. The industry is trying to do what it can to support the government's efforts. We cannot meet our targets on EPR without the support both of government and the general public. The general public has a very important role to play. It is up to you to make a change, to make a difference, and improve the state of our environment. No? The power is in your hands, the power to choose what products you buy, the power to elect the officials you put into office so that there's consistency in policies and so that we can ensure that waste management as a service of government is really given to you. But however, you have a role to ensure that even if it's a mixed collection system, do segregate, bring your bags when you go to the supermarket, go for reusable products. If we can all put our hands together, I think we will make a big difference and improve the way the state of the environment is.
Well said. Naku, maraming salamat po sa inyong dalawa for taking the time to be with us today. And thank you very much for everything that you do for our country. Natapos na naman ng isang makulay at puno ng kaalaman na episode. Ngayon, sana ay mas malinaw na sa atin ang kahalagahan ng tamang solid waste management at ang epekto nito sa ating kalikasan. Tandaan, hindi kailangan malaki ang pagbabago para makagawa ng epekto. Ang mga maliliit na hakbang kapag sabay-sabay ay makakabuo ng mas malaking pagbabago para sa ating kalikasan. Kaya't magsimula tayo ngayon, ipakita natin na kaya natin maging bahagi ng solusyon at hindi ng problema. Let's carry the Kalikasan Day Everyday spirit with us. Remember that caring for our kalikasan is not just about what we do today, but how we make every day count. So, let's make it a habit. Let's make every day count and make every day a Kalikasan Day.